It's your rock, your coal, your sand for construction, cement, moving to go make concrete. It's usually more the products to make things than it is to finish goods.
Yeah. And so a question there, just thinking about, I hear that intermodal in short line is not really, is not that relevant because like an intermodal is more likely to just go straight to the Class 1 and get on the network there, or get off the Class 1 network and then go out to its final place. Is that true?
Correct. Yeah, it just doesn't fit a short line scope because one, the way the intermodal network's built, and that's a whole talk we could get into for a long time. But it's the way it's been crafted and structured over the years. The short lines just don't fit into it.
Yeah, and then so thinking about just sort of the cost structure for a second across the different modes. Are there specific drivers that account for differences in these cost structures? So we talked about Class 1 versus short line having non-unionized labor and all that type of stuff, but how do you think about the cost structure when we think about, say, trucking or potentially like even water movement, whether it be along a riverway or deep sea, all that stuff?
Well, unfortunately, if you have water access, railroads can't compete. I mean, to move something by ton on water it's the cheapest mode, right? It beats trucking, it beats rail, it beats airlines. You just can't touch water.
Yeah.
But the issue with water is barges are big, but you can only put so many barges together, and you have to be on water. You can be away from water, but it's going to be hard. It's going to require a lot of trucks to empty a barge and make that turn. I think it goes water, rail, trucking, in my opinion. Water being the cheapest, rail in the middle, and trucking being your most expensive mode. But trucking is also the fastest and can get to anybody and anybody everywhere. Where rail, you have to have rail access, or if you're going to transload, you don't want to transload something and still haul 300 miles. It's very hard to make money doing that because you're probably going to pass other railroads and semis and everything else along the way, right?
So just another question there. I hear so much about the driver shortage and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. Is your opinion, and this can be a 10-second answer, but is your opinion that the driver shortage is real? Is it overhyped? And if it is real, what do you think is the impact for other modes of transport?
I 100% firm, in my opinion, believe it's totally real. I've seen in the rail market just in the past year, the amount of business that's increased in the rail market because people can't get drivers. And then even on the transload side, seeing people struggling to find drivers to get their product off of the rail car into a truck. I mean, you can't find it. You can't find a driver in West Texas right now to save your life. I mean, you got drivers down there making $150,000 a year that aren't even over the road. They're just driving frac sand back and forth all day long.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point where you have oil companies that are going and buying their own trucking companies right now because they can't get anybody to haul the oil and the frac sand to the sites and out of the sites. I think it's going to continue. I know there's another round. I was up on the trucking stuff for a while, and I've gotten behind, but I believe it's the end of this year, 19, there's another round of standards coming out for the trucking industry. Some more regulations coming out. I guess it's depending on how Trump and everybody handles that, but the driver shortage is there. It's definitely there.
Okay. So I know we've hit our hour. I'm going to go a little bit long if you have the time. If you don't, that's fine.
No, I have time.
So now, I guess thinking about that, first I want to ask this question. Like Watco, G&W, Omnitrax, vis-a-vis independent mom and pops, do they actually get huge economies of scale by having a larger enterprise, or is that not the case?
Yes. And where you win is if you're a mom and pop and you have one railroad and it's barely making money, that's what you have.
Yeah.
you're at G&W and you have 115 railroads